Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we travel from unreality to the reality, ignorance to the knowledge, and from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, today it is quite interesting topic, which how to control the mind, how to have the self mastery over the mind. This is the eternal question which has troubled the people's mind from centuries together. So every one of us, we know, if we control the mind, if we can have the mastery over the mind, then we have got the mastery. Because the mind is a instrument which can create bondage and which can create the liberation. So according to the Advaita Vedanta, the bondage and the liberation is both for mind only, not for the self. Self was free, self is free, self will be free. The bondage and liberation is only for mind. So all our sadhana is what? To prepare the mind properly, to keep it fit, to keep it right. So how to master the mind? How to control the mind? This is the even most of us we have this problem. Oh, my mind is highly volatile, highly restless. How to control this mind? There are quite a few people keep on asking this. So Patanjali, 2500 BC, he has discussed this, how to control the mind. And all this started from where? Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So yoga, I am going to explain why, to have the control over the mastery over the mind. That's what actually. So what is vritti and what is yoga? He described in the third sutra. Then from 5th to 12, he described different type of vrittis, or different fluctuations of the mind, different states of fluctuations of the mind. Now, from the 12th sutra aphorism, he started explaining what is Nirodha and how to attain it. So you can very well understand how very systematically the Patanjali is handling the subject, discussing the subject. First he told what I am going to discuss. Atha yoga anushasana. I am going to discuss about the yoga. And what is yoga? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga which helps to have the self control over the mind or mastery over the mind. Then what are the fluctuations which is creating trouble for the mind? From the sutra number 5 to 11, he discussed. Quite interestingly, he didn't really discuss what is chitta actually. Probably he took it for granted, the people know. What is chitta? What is mind? All of us we know. So that is the reason probably he didn't discuss. And some commentators say, oh, because he discussed about the vrittis, the nature of the mind is nothing but the vrittis or the thoughts. Since he has discussed about the fluctuations of the mind, it is as good as explaining the mind, or the chitta. Now, after discussing what is yoga and what is vritti and what are the fluctuations of the mind, he is trying to tell now how to control the mind or how to still the mind, how to have the mastery over the mind. Okay. Now, in the 12th sutra, he is telling Abhyāsa Vairāgya Abhyam Tannirodha. Abhyāsa and Vairāgya are these two things which will help us to create self mastery. To have a self mastery over the mind, we need two things. One is Abhyāsa and the Vairāgya. So when I say two things, we need Abhyāsa and Vairāgya, when Patanjali is saying, he means it is not either of. Oh, either you can do Abhyāsa or you can do Vairāgya. No, both are required. Both should go hand in hand. Both are essential. Just like two wings of the bird. If there's a one wing, left wing alone, the bird cannot fly. Then there's only right wing. Can the bird fly? No. It has to have two wings, like a right side and left side. So similarly, to have the control over the mind, we need abhyasa and we need vairagya also. So these are both, in the Sanskrit it is called samuchaya. Samuchaya means both are required actually. Okay. So abhyasa, practice, vairagyabhyam, it is dispassion, renunciation, detachment. Tata means there. There means here states of mind, which we discussed in the earlier sutras. Nirodha, one can control, one can restrain. Now, to make all this thing very simple, probably I'll give one example we'll understand. Now, for an example, Ganges River or maybe Leafy River is flowing in the Ireland, in the Dublin, near Dublin. So when it is the Leafy River is flowing, the people or the villages or the city on the bank of the Leafy River, they can get the use of it. They can make use of it. Now there is a village which is 100 kilometers from the Leafy River and they are in need of water. Can they make use of it? Well, not directly. Then they have to put the pipeline or they have to put some canals, they have to dig it. They have to channelize the water basically. Otherwise, they can't make use of it. When the rains comes, we get enough water, and if there's a lack of rain, then the water will be less in the Leafy River. It cannot, take care of the good amount of people, large amount of people. Then what the government thinks? They build dams so that water is stored. Since by building the dam, what is happening? You are able to store the water. We are able to store the water. So building the dam is what here Vairagya. Controlling the mind, controlling the thought, controlling the mind from going to negative things is what like building the dam. Well, we built the dam, so water has been stored, water is getting stored, and we left it. Then what happens? At some point of time, the water will overflow the dam and the dam might break and there can be calamity. There can be an accident. So for that, what they do? They do the canals and they do the gates or whatever. So through the help of canals and the pipeline, they try to pump the water to the different places, cities for the irrigation, for drinking, for domestic or for commercial purposes. So building the dam is Lord Vairagya and channelizing the water for the necessity, maybe domestic purpose or commercial purpose. That is what we mean here, Abhyasa. So Abhyasa and Vairagya both are required. In the other way, like cultivating the right habit, cultivating the good habits is what Abhyasa, and checking the mind from the negative habits or from the negative thoughts or negative attitude perception is what the Vairagya. So cultivating positive habits and controlling and resisting oneself from the negative habits, both are essential to have the control over the mind. This is what very much required. So what is Abhyasa and what is Vairagya? We'll be discussing in the next sutra. So the Patanjali is telling Abhyasa and Vairagya both are required to have the mastery over the mind, to have the self-mastery. So when you say Vairagya, it is translated as renunciation. So should we become monks or none? Should we join the monasteries or churches? No. Here Vairagya is renunciation, means desisting from the or detaching from the weak things which makes us weak physically, mentally, intellectually, spiritually, or whatever, like negative thinking or bad habits, then arrogance, ego, all these things we should try to avoid. Okay. And I think one of the commentator, he puts in a beautiful way. What is Abhyasa? Increase Sattva Guna. Increase Sattva Guna is what Abhyasa, and decrease Rajoguna and Tamoguna is what Vairagya. So increase Sattva Guna means what? Simple living, positive attitude, then what you say, contentment, love, compassion. So developing the higher values. Developing the Sattvaguna means what? Developing the higher values is what the Abhyasa, and negative things, trying to decrease the Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Unnecessary ambitions, unnecessary desires, then sense gratification, All these things has to be desisted, has to be reduced. This is what the decrease of rajoguna and tamoguna. That is what the vairagya. And the scheme of evolution, the scheme of the Patanjalis, if you see, for the Uttamadhikari, for the best spiritual aspirant, for him actually it is Abhyāsa and Vairāgya. And for the Madhyamadhikari, for the mediocre, it is called Kriya Yogani. That is Sharanagati, Swadhyaya, and Ishvara Pranidhani. Surrendering to the God and Swadhyaya, they studying. And for the Adhamadhikari, for the beginner, actually Ashtanga Yoga has been given. This is what the scheme of sadhana given by Patanjali. Now, why he's saying that Ashtanga Yoga, if you don't practice, what happens? There is no refinement in the mind. There is no refinement in the mind or in the purity. Impurities, as to some extent, if you don't control it or it has not been reduced, then with a turbulent mind, controlling the mind can lead a calamity or an accident. That's where some amount of control, some amount of refinement or purity is required. That's where they are saying that first you should start with the Ashtanga Yoga, then with the help of Abhyasa and Vairagya, one can control the mind. Okay. Now, Abhyasa and Vairagya is required to control the mind, has been told. What is Abhyasa, we have known. What is Vairagya, we know. Abhyasa is a practice, and Vairagya is what? Detachment, renunciation, we came to know. Now, what is Abhyasa in the 13th aphorism? In the 13th sutra, the Patanjali is going to tell. This is very, very important, which we have to make all of us note. Why? Because in 13th and 14th, he will explain what is Abhyasa. Many times we think, I am practicing meditation for years together, I am not able to have the control over the mind. I am practicing music for a long time, but I didn't get the mastery as I wish. Why? So these things in the 13th and the 14th aphorism, the Patanjali gives very beautiful analysis. Tatra stito yatnaha abhyasaha. Tatra means of these. Of these means what? Of Abhyasa and Vairagya. Stito means in the stillness, steadfastness. Yatnaha, effort. Abhyasa means practice. So what is practice? Putting an effort to still the mind, to keep the mind in a steadfast state. The effort which we are putting to keep the mind in the steadfast state, that is what the Abhyasa. So he is giving a very universal definition for the Abhyasa. So this tells very clearly for us, we have to struggle to control our mind. Many times people say, Swamiji, my mind is so restless, what can I do? And they keep on boosting it as if it is their achievement. I say that don't boost it. It is a problem for all of us, and don't think that it is not only your own problem, and don't boost it also. It is a universal problem. We have to control it. We have to put an effort. It is not easy, but possible. So practice is the effort. Practice is the effort to be fixed in concentrating the mind or keeping the mind stand or still. So that means what? There is a good amount of effort is required to control the mind, which is not that easy. And Arjuna is considered as great warrior. He's a Maharathi. He had a good physique. Good physique in the sense, not six pack. Basically, he's a good, healthy person. And he was very skillful in different warfare techniques and all. And he was called Maharathi, where he is able to, fight with 10,000 people at a given point of time. Even such a great, well-built personality, he himself says, controlling the mind is Vayoriva Sudushkaram. It is as good as Heraclean task like controlling the air, controlling the wind. The wind, we cannot catch it. We cannot control the movement of the wind. So similarly, controlling the mind is also very Heraclean task. So this tells very clearly this is an universal problem. And Krishna says, Asamshayam Mahabahu, Mano Durnigraham Chala. Yes, controlling the mind is a Heraclean task, there is no doubt, but possible. It is difficult, but possible. Abhyasena ta kaunteya, vairagyena cha guryate. So you have to practice. You have to practice and you have to practice detachment, both. That's what Krishna says. Here, Yatna refers to Ashtanga Yoga. Tatra sthito yatnaha abhyasa, when I say that we should do some practice, then only we can control the mind. When people say, oh, Swamiji, I'm not able to control the mind, when they say, I ask, what have you done? What efforts have you put to control the mind, to keep the mind still? When I ask this, many people, they say, oh, I am trying to control the mind. Fine, you were trying to control the mind. What measures you have taken? What steps you have taken? What efforts you have put forth? When I ask, they are mostly helpless or speechless. So I have to control the mind. Desire is okay, but I have to put an effort. Maybe how to control the mind, cultivating the right habit, cultivating the good habits, and desisting myself from the negative habits, negative influences like unnecessary social media or internet surfing. All these things we have to practice, we have to put into efforts. Okay. Now, in the 14th thing, which is very, very important, he describes three tier or three components which consists of practice. When we say I am practicing, and I'm not able to achieve the results, you may ask, I may think, but in the 14th sutra, aphorism, Patanjali gives a beautiful analysis. What do I mean by practice? The effort to keep the mind steady is what practice, okay? Practice constitutes three items, three components. What is that? Let us try to understand in the 14th sutra, which is quite important for all of us. Satu dirghakala nairantarya satkara sevito drudabhumihi. Saha means here practice. But dirghakala means prolonged time, for a very long time. Nairantarya, without break, uninterruptedly. Satkara asevita means with reverence, with respect. Drudabhumihi, one should be firm. So the practice, what it is called practice, the definition is practice is when a person who has done that practice for a long time, without break and with reverence, devotion, he achieves the results or he gets firmly grounded. Okay. Now I will go to the details, we will see. The first specification, first component of the practice is saying Dirgha Kala. Dirgha Kala means for a long time. Many people ask, Swamiji, I am practicing japa, I am practicing meditation. From last 2 months, 3 months, I am not able to control the mind. Okay, fair enough. 2 to 3 months you are practicing. How much time? Yeah, maybe 10, 15 minutes, half an hour, or maybe 40 minutes. I'm daily trying to practice meditation or a japa or some spiritual exercise, and I'm not able to control the mind. Then generally ask them question, my dear, how much time you take just to get one university degree? From the age sixth, 6 years roughly, if you start class one, then by the time you take degree, it is almost like 14 to 15 years. And every day we go to school, 5 days at least, 6 to 7 hours we read. We spend time in studies. Then again, we might do some studies, homework, assignments, projects in the house on weekdays or weekends and etc. So basically 8 to 10 hours we study and for 14 years and just to get one degree. And 2 3 months and 10 15 minutes or half an hour we try and we say, I am not able to control my mind. Just I'm doing some japa or meditation or some spiritual exercise. So that is not possible. It has to be for long time. So one cannot achieve success, which is called control over the mind, in a less time, in a few weeks, few months, maybe an year or two. No, it might take decades, it might take lifetime even. But we have to keep on doing the practice. There is no other way. Dirgha Kala. That is the reason in the Gita, Shri Krishna tells very beautifully, I think 6.45, he tells, with the accumulated merits of the previous births, the yogis engage sincerely to make further progress. They become purified from the material desires and attain perfection in the life. So for a long time they practice, and that's how the yogis attain perfection. which is self mastery over the mind, or having a different purpose, or having a God realization, self realization. All these things, it is not a one day, it is a sincere effort for a long time. So we also have to practice for a long time if you want to have the control over the mind. So there are no shortcuts to have the mastery over the mind as according to the Patanjali. So that should be long time. Okay. The second is Nairantarya. Nairantarya means without break, without any interruption. Okay, like for example, I started spiritual practice. I was doing for a month or two or three. Afterwards, I was not feeling good, or I was not interested. My mind says that, oh, we will have a break for some days, just like an holiday. Or it is a summer vacation, so let me have a vacation for my spiritual practice also, for my prayer, meditation, or any spiritual exercise. Then for a week or two, or a month or two, I gave up. Then I thought, oh, again I have come back. Now summer vacation is over. Then again I start my meditation. I do for few months, few weeks, few days. Then again I give a break. Then again I start. Then again I give a break. So like this, if you do, the controlling over the mind or having a control over the mind will become difficult. So that's why the Patanjali is giving the second condition, second component for the practice is Nairantarya, without any break. That's why my Gurudev, my teacher, is to tell there is no holiday for spiritual life. No holiday for spiritual life. Oh, today is a Sunday, so let me relax. No. So if I'm practicing meditation every day, I'm supposed to practice on Sunday also. That's what we have seen with all the senior monks. In our monastery, every day night, we will have a night class. Night class is after supper. We all assemble and we read for maybe 15-20 minutes or 30 minutes, some reading. And afterwards, we may discuss on the same topic or some other spiritual topics. Then we go and retire to bed. So roughly, more or less, on Sundays, we have got a leave basically. And some of the monks, whenever we have seen with the senior monks, we may the ashrama they say that we have got a holiday, but again they don't stop that reading. They go to the room and in that particular time they do read also. In their old age, already they might have read the gospel 20 times, 30 times, 50 times. But still, because Monday to Saturday they read the gospel of Ramakrishna or any book between say 9 to quarter past 9, even in the Sunday they used to do. I was wondering when I joined as a novice, I asked senior monks, Swamiji, you might have read the gospel quite a few times and you have understood the gospel. And today is being a holiday. Why are you going to read again the gospel at the given point of time in your room? He used to say that because Sunday, being Sunday, I didn't stop eating. I didn't stop sleeping. Then why should I stop or why should I give a break for studying gospel of Ramakrishna or reading a scripture? So you might have, there might be there might be in a tradition that Sunday is a holiday for the night class. But for my spiritual life, there is no holiday. Hence, I will do in my room. I may not say that for everyone should do that, but I will do that. So I have seen with a couple of monks, senior monks, they used to do their routine properly. And also, which remembers a very funny incident. Funny incident in the monastery in the Belur Mutt. One of the monk every day evening used to go for a walk. So sometimes there used to be heavy rain. Even in the heavy rain, he used to take an umbrella and used to go for a walk. Imagine going every day for a walk, it is a healthy habit, no doubt. And there's a heavy rain, but still in that heavy rain, holding an umbrella and lifting his dhoti up and is going and is doing his regular walk. Then we young novices, we asked, Swamiji, there's a heavy rain, something can happen. Why are you going for a walk? What is the necessity? He said, see, this is my spiritual practice every day. Whether there may be rain, they may not be rain, but I have to do my spiritual practice. Walking is also spiritual practice for me. So I don't want to give holiday. I will do it. It looks very funny. We might laugh at it, but when we see their intention, they're very serious about every small thing in their life. So that disciplined life, that uninterrupted practices only can bring the success in the spiritual life. That is here, control over the mind. So one don't stop practicing or taking a break because mind likes it or mind do not like it. Basically, in our cases, mind dictates us. But in their cases, they dictate their mind. Oh, mind, whether you are interested or not, I want to do the meditation, I will do it. Whether I may be healthy, I may not be healthy. Whether I may be interested, I may be feeling boring or whatever, I will get up, I will sit for meditation, I will do my spiritual practices. So they have got a control over the mind. Mind doesn't control them. That's what the difference between the, advanced yogis or advanced spiritual practitioners. How did they achieve? Oh, they are advanced people, that's why it is possible. Fine, but at some point of time, they did start from level 0 or level 1. Now they have achieved, no doubt. But by starting and by practicing, we also can achieve. Now the question might come, why is it required? Why? Because if you see, even today neuroscience speaks, if you are doing some practice every day, so the practice, whatever we are making, that our neurons, brain cells gets charged. And the same practice or same study, when you are doing same habit, it is charged with the same cells, and they start, what you say, getting connected, and they form like a rope. As a result, that makes an habit. The habit is what? It is a part and parcel of our personality. Just for an example, drinking a coffee as soon as you get up. When we were born, we didn't have that habit. At some point of time, we developed it. Time and again, we did. Now it has become a habit. As soon as I get up, I should have a coffee. Without coffee, it is too difficult for us. Why? Because of the habit. So, similarly, meditation, similarly, every spiritual practice can be made like that. And very interestingly, if you see Totapuri's guru, that is, Sri Ramakrishna's guru, Totapuri, that is Advaya, who gave sannyasa and all. In his case, also, we can see very clear. So Sri Ramakrishna asked Totapuri because he had a Nirvikalpa Samadhi experience and he had a realized soul, but every day, morning and evening, he used to sit for meditation. Then Sri Ramakrishna asked, "Dear sir, you have already reached your goal. You have attained your goal. Then what is the necessity for you to practice meditation every day?" He gives a beautiful example. He shows he had a one brass kamandalu. That is a water pot, you can say. He says, "See how it is shining, isn't it?" Yes, it is shining. How? Because every day I clean. Otherwise, what happens? Slowly the layer, because the brass gets, when it react with the atmosphere, with the oxygen, there is an the layer, the oxidizing layer, it gets formed. Then slowly it becomes dark brown, then it becomes black in few days. But if you clean every day with the tamarind or some acid liquid, then it will be shining, the brass. Because I'm cleaning every day, this brass part is shining. So similarly, when I do practice meditation every day, my mind will be purer, my mind will be attentive, so that I will not fall from the goal, I will not fall from the state where I am staying. He gives the example of the brass pot, and he also shows the importance of the regular practice. So we are having a practicing of japa, meditation, or anything. Why we don't achieve the success in many of our cases? Why? Because we neither dirghakala, that is for long time we are not practicing, or nairantarya, without break we don't practice. Either of we are missing it. That is the reason our practices are not fetching the results whatever we desire. And the third component, which is also quite interesting. So one is Dirghakala, for long time. Nirantara means without break. The third component of the practice, according to the Patanjali, is Satkara Asevita. Means the correct translation is with respect and devotion, he says. But probably in the layman language, if you want me to say, it is only with enthusiasm. Nairantarya and for the long time and without break gives the quantitative approach. Now there should be qualitative approach also. Quality and quantity both are required for any success in the efforts. So the Satkara Asevita is mentioning about the quality. I am trying to meditate for 1 hour every day, no doubt without break. In 1 hour, what I am doing? I may be sleeping off, dozing off, or in the world, in that 1 hour, my mind may be doing the world tour, which happens for all of us, no doubt. But slowly, slowly, it should be controlled. The quality of the meditation should be increased. Sri Ramakrishna gives a very funny example of the monkeys. Once all the monkeys assembled in one place, they said Ekadashi. Ekadashi is the 11th day in the calendar. So that is especially the devotees of the Vishnu, the devotees of the Lord Vishnu, they do fasting on the Ekadashi day. Because if you do fasting on that day, so all your desires will be fulfilled, all your prayers are answered. That is a belief in the Hinduism. So these monkeys, they are all the bhaktas, they are all the devotees of the Lord Vishnu or Lord Rama. They said, since we are all being the devotees of the Lord Rama, tomorrow Ekadashi, we should go for fasting. Then the leader announced, all the monkeys nodded their heads and all they kept quiet. They sat. Now, monkeys, imagine, monkeys are sitting quiet in a one place, assemble of monkeys. After some time, maybe a 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, suddenly one monkey said, look, tomorrow we are all fasting. So that, because that we are tired, we'll be tired actually. That day after tomorrow to go and get the food, will not have energy. Then what to do? Today itself we will go and accumulate the food. And tomorrow we shall fast, and day after tomorrow we shall eat this. All the monkeys listened and they all said yes, and immediately they jumped to the different places to collect the bananas or fruits, nuts, and all. All they collected and they came and they accumulated in one place. Again, they sat calmly, quietly for a few moments. And one more monkey said, look, tomorrow we are fasting and we don't have energy probably. Today itself we'll put into our mouth and we'll keep it. And day after tomorrow we shall eat. All the monkeys said yes. And they put the bananas or nuts or fruits in their mouth. Then what happened? Slowly they were seeing each other and slowly the food went away inside. And for the first 4 or 5 minutes, all were sitting quiet, very serene. All monkeys have controlled their mind. They have closed their eyes. If from the external point of view, if you see, all the monkeys are meditating. But the monkeys were meditating where? So where is the banana orchard? Where can I get and go and get the bananas or fruits? So the monkeys were meditating on the fruits and bananas or food. So Sri Ramakrishna gives this funny example. Yeah. So many times our meditations also can be this. I mean, most of us it happens when we sit. Whatever I have forgotten, everything we will remember. Oh my dear, I had forgotten this 1 month before, 1 week before. Okay, okay. It is very important task. I should go and do it. Otherwise, there can be accident, calamity. That's how our mind diverts. That's how our mind cheats us. And we might remember the incidents happened in that day or in the previous days. We have quarreled with someone, that might come to our mind. We had a good conversation or a bad conversation with someone, that might come. And when we sit, immediately we will start feeling our body pain and whatnot. And so many things can happen, and mind gets restless. And half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour meditation, it has done the world tour. So that means what? Quality of the meditation has come down. Quality of meditation is not being taken care. That is also very, very important. There's a one aspect. The other is, okay, I have to do long time without break. So okay, I'm doing it by hook or crook. Every day morning I'm getting up at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and I'm sitting for meditation for half an hour. But unfortunately, I may land into doing the practice mechanically. I'm supposed to sit for half an hour meditation. I'm sitting for half an hour meditation. I sat for half an hour and I got up. It has become very mechanical. There is no life in that. I am not engaging, I'm not enjoying the spiritual practice. I am not enjoying the effort which I am putting, or I am not enjoying my practices, whatever I'm doing. If that is the case, then I will not be able to achieve the success. In many spiritual aspirants, this problem might happen. He or she is doing the meditation for a long time, but they don't get the control over the mind. Why? Either because of the lack of quality, or lack of the longevity, or lack of uninterrupted practice. So satkara asevita is what? Quality of the effort also has to be taken care. So boredom can come. My mind is not interested. Mind can come. Oh, meditation or any spiritual practice can be boredom for us. That's how mind can play. Or I'm doing mechanically. Just I have to do it. I am doing it. So all these things might come. All these things should be taken care. Sometimes our mind plays like this. We have nothing to do it. We have to do it, no doubt. But still, we have to be alert and we have to think. We have to, rebrush our mind. We have to build the right attitude in our mind, and we have to remove all these problems. That is what satkara asavita. This is a other shade of the definition. And one more thing I would like to say, that with enthusiasm, with the zest, we have to do all the practices. I am controlling them. I'm trying to sit on meditation. I have what a beautiful practice. With that so much joy, I should do it. I always say, for an example, we are climbing the Mount Everest. Oh, I have to reach the Mount Everest, no doubt. But while reaching the Mount Everest, it is not a simple task. I have to do a lot of efforts, and I have to, face a lot of cold, biting cold, and the oxygen, lack of oxygen, and other things. So there will be a lot of efforts, there will be a lot of difficulties. So I can keep on lamenting, commenting, complaining about the efforts, and somehow I might reach to the Mount Everest. Instead of that, every step, every endeavor, I'm putting hard, I have to put a lot of efforts, no doubt. I may enjoy the every effort, and I may go and reach the Mount Everest. Then the journey will be superb, will be very beautiful. That's what here is called Satkara Asevita. In the Upanishads, in the Sanskrit literature, they say Simhavalokana. The lion, when it is moving alone in the jungle, once in a while, it turns back and it sees the path which it has taken. So once in a while, we should see what path we have taken, and we should feel joy. We should feel happy about it. So every step of our struggle, every effort, we should start enjoying it. Well, I might not have reached the goal. I might not have reached the perfection, never mind. I'm struggling. I may be in the second step, I may be in the third step, I may be in the fourth step, but I'm struggling. And enjoy the struggle. That will help to go further. That's what I mean. Satkara Sevita. Enjoying the struggles. Enjoying the struggle is what very, very important. And all these things put together in one more simple example I can give. For an example, a piece of land, a patch of land. Now a patch of land is left free. I owe it, a patch of land is left free. Then what happens? In few days, if you say, there will be a lot of weeds, unnecessary weeds. There may be some useful plants or trees, but it is covered with weeds. Why? It has not been taken care. Then suddenly I remember, suddenly I come to conscience saying that, oh, I should remove that weeds and all. I should make it proper. Then okay, with the help of tools and all, I use that. I remove all the weeds, and there were stones and pebbles, some glass pieces. I removed all of them, and I whatever the somewhere the stones were, the mud was turned into like a blocks. Like I broke them, and I made it very. I tilled the ground. I made it very clean and very perfect. So this removing the weeds and tilling the ground, removing the pebbles or glass pieces or unnecessary things is what Vairāgya. Okay, I removed all the unnecessary things and I tilled the ground. I make it so fertile, so perfect. Then I left it. Then what happens? After a few days, again that land, if you see in that patch of land or a patch of that area, again weeds will come. After a month or two, I see again weeds have come. Again I removed it. Then if you leave it, again after a few days, again weeds. The amount of weeds might grow less, but still weeds will come. Then again you remove, again it will come. Then how can I remove it? Oh, you put a concrete. That will not help here. Sow the good seeds, or sow the plants, flowery plants, fruit plants, and or creepers, vegetable plants, fruit trees. So that what happens? When the flower plants or the vegetable trees gets covered the entire soil, then the amount of weeds growing will be lessened. That soil will be fertile, or the soil will be more, the land will be more useful. So sowing the desired plants, like a flower plants or the vegetable plants or the fruit trees, is what Abhyāsa. And removing the weeds, removing the unnecessary things from the land, is what the Vairāgya. Both are required to get the crop. The farmer does maintain both. He removes the weeds, he removes the pebbles and other things, and he also cultivates the land. He uses the water, he uses the fertilizers, he uses the pesticides, and he sows the seeds, and he gets the crops. To get the crop, he has to maintain the quality of the soil, along with the sowing of the seed or plant or whatever, and removing the weeds and removing the unnecessary things from the land is also required. So this Abhyāsa and Vairāgya both should go hand in hand. Then only a farmer can get the desired crop. So similarly, for us, if you want a success in the life, which is here, control of the mind, Abhyāsa and Vairāgya both should go hand in hand. Okay. So now in the last two or three sutras, our last two sutras in the 13th and 14th aphorisms, we have come to know what is Abhyāsa, what is practice. Now, in the 15th and 16th sutra, in the 15th and 16th sutra, he discusses what is Vairāgya. Vairagya means it is not renunciation, renouncing the family, renouncing the society, and joining the monastery. It is not that. What is Vairagya? Let us try to see from the Patanjali's point of view. Drashtanu ashravika vishaya vitrushnasya vashikara sangna vairagyam. Dispassion is the state of mastery in which one is free from craving for the objects of enjoyment, whether seen in this mundane world or heard about the higher worlds. So, I don't want anything except God. I don't want anything except self. Or rather, I don't want the lower things, I want the highest thing, is what the Vairagya. So, again, Vairagya means it is not the suppression of the desire. Many times that's what we try to do. We try to suppress our desires, and some point of time it blasts with interest. So scriptures will never tell us to suppress our desires. It will never say that. Suppressing the desire is not the thing. Controlling the mind is okay, but suppressing the desire is not allowed or not encouraged in our scriptures. So Vairagya means it is not the suppression of desire. Rather, it is freedom from desire. It is not the suppression of desire, rather it is freedom from desire. How to understand this? So going beyond the sense organs or the sense pleasures. There's a beautiful experiment called marshmallow experiment. The experiment goes like this. So 5 or 6 kids probably 6 or 8, the age between 6 and 8 children were kept, each children were kept in different rooms basically, 5, 6 rooms. And the person went and said, look, there is a marshmallow here. I'm going outside just for a small work. In 2 to 3 or maybe 5 minutes, I will come back. And if you don't eat this marshmallow, then I'm going to give you the second one. If you eat this chocolate or marshmallow, then you are not going to get. This is what the experiment actually. Now, 6, 7 students, which were kept in individual rooms, the first child, the child made to sit, and the person was explaining all these things. Before completing the sentence, the child took the marshmallow and just put to his mouth. So basically, the child was unable to control. Just even the child saw the marshmallow, immediately it consumed. It didn't listen anything. So this is what happened with 1 or 2 or 3 children. Then 1 or 2 children, they heard about it. Oh, okay. If I eat now, it's a 1. If I don't eat and if I wait for you, 2. Very good. They said, and again they ate. They listened everything, but they ate. 1 or 2 children. Then 1 or 2 children, they heard, and the person left the room, and he was seeing from the outside. Never, we know that. But they tried to control, seeking for the second one, but they couldn't. They ate. And there are 1 or 2 or 3 children where they were able to control the mind with ease or with difficulty. When the person came back, he saw there was a marshmallow, there a chocolate, then they got a second one, marshmallow or chocolate. Now, in the first 2, 3 children, they were unable to hear anything. Simply they grabbed it. They don't have any control over the mind at all. It is like a instinct living, animal way of living, it is basically. Then the second group of people, they heard, no doubt, they understood, but they couldn't control. After finishing the hearing, they consumed the children. And the third, they tried for some time, no doubt, but still they couldn't control, they finished. And the fourth children, because they get second 2 chocolates or they get 2 marshmallows, keeping desiring for the 2 things, they control the one thing. This is what theory of sublimation. Our Upanishads always speak of theory of sublimation. So to get the highest bliss, let me give away the lower happiness. Rather, let me merge the lower happiness in the higher happiness. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, in the Ananda Mimamsa, that's what it comes. You go above worlds more and more, you will get the happiness gets increased 100 times. But when I experience who am I, Brahmananda, that is the highest bliss. Above that, there is nothing else. If that is the case, if that is the highest bliss, then let me seek for it. isn't it? So when I'm getting the highest bliss, why should I strive for the lowest bliss, lower bliss? Why should I strive? Why should I seek the lower bliss? Let me seek the highest bliss. That is what the Brahmananda, the bliss which has come from my real nature or inherent nature. So this is what we mean. Vairagya has to be understood. So detachment is not giving up the people, not giving up the things. Detachment is giving up the craving for the things. I need house. I need objects to survive, to stay, and etc. So detachment or the vairagya is not the giving up things, rather giving up the craving for the things. Swami Vivekananda beautifully says, a beggar, what he can renounce? A king can renounce really. So if I have to renounce something, I should have something. So detachment is what? Is not giving up the things, it is rather giving up the craving for the things, for the objects, or for whatever. So this is what the second component, which is Vairagya. So Bhoja is one of the philosophers. He discusses beautifully. What is Vairagya? He puts in another way, very nicely. I am not in their control, they are in my control. I am not in the control of the world. The moment for me, the one problem is what? The moment I see sneakers, I can't control myself. So sneaker is controlling me. I should not have. It should not happen me. Actually, I should control the sneaker. Whether should I eat or not, I should decide. But in my case, sneaker simply takes away all my discrimination and it compels me to eat. I think that, but sneaker doesn't have that power because I have allowed the mind to get what to say carried over by the sneakers. That way, sneaker is ruling me. So that's what it happens in all our life. So Boja is telling, I am not in their control; they are in control me. So I am not in the control of the world or objects. World means here objects. The objects are in my control. If I wish, I will take it. If I don't wish, I won't take it. That is the beauty of the Abhyāsa and the Vairāgya. And how to achieve this? Vijnana Bhikshu, again, one of the great philosophers, he makes a beautiful understanding. By seeing the defects or by seeing the limitedness, transitoriness, limited happiness in this world and objects, one can withdraw the mind. One can fix the mind in the higher things. Well, I get a chocolate, I eat it, I get a momentary happiness. So instead of seeking the sense gratification like this small objects and the happiness, let me seek the highest happiness. Let me seek the highest bliss. So again, it is what? Sublimation. So for example, when I'm seeing the internet, I'm seeing the reels, the present day. People keep on seeing the reels in the what do you say, Instagram or in the Facebook. That gives some joy, no doubt. But that joy is limited in the nature, temporary in the nature, momentary in the nature. Instead of that, let me spend my time in some constructive things, maybe in the painting, drawing, studying a book, or doing the higher things, doing the better things. It can be a bit difficult at the given point of time, maybe challenging for time, but if you can control and if you can cultivate the right habits, higher habits, then what happens? I will get the higher happiness. That's where beautiful in the fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in 21 and 22 slokas, they tell very clearly. Those who are not attached to the external sense pleasures and realize that the divine bliss is the highest in the self and united with that self through the yoga, one can experience the everlasting bliss. Because the pleasures which arise with the contact from the sense objects, though they are very attractive, but they are temporary in nature and they are the source of misery with full of limitations. It is better to give up and seek the highest. This is what in the fifth chapter, 21st and 22nd sloka, it tells. Now, I think Vijnana Bhikshu, Vachaspati Mishra gives a beautiful, very practical hints, practical tips how to practice this. He tells, first, we should understand that I am attached to the world and its objects. Oh, many people say, "Oh, Swamiji, I'm unable to control my mind. I don't want to think about him or her or about a thing, but they are not leaving me." It is not so. It is like the scripture says, I am holding the pillar, and I say that I complain that pillar is holding me, pillar is holding me. So if I am obsessed with something, the thing doesn't have any power because I have become my mind has become the slave for a thing, for a person, for an object. So understand that I have the problem of attachment. Now the people say, oh, that's okay. Attachment is okay. I enjoy. If someone feels, then the scripture says, if that is the case, then go ahead. Don't worry. One who feels that this attachment is bringing a misery, attachment is bringing a problem or whatever, then only for such people this earth is told. So recognize, understand that I am attached to several things. Not for everything, no doubt. No one will attach for everything. We are attached to several things. This is the first step of the progress. Understand it and accept it. Then slowly start practicing detachment from the unnecessary things and practicing attachment towards the higher things. This is the second step. Practicing the detachment from the lower things and practicing attachment to the higher things. Okay. Now this is at the external level. And the third step, Vachaspati Mishra tells beautifully that practice detachment towards inner things, which is very, very important. Inner things means towards my own body, towards my own ego, my own desire for name, fame, power, position, recognition. All these things has to be reduced. So detach from the inner things and aspiring for the highest thing, that is the bliss, supreme bliss, that is the bliss which has been come from the Atmanubhava, experiencing who am I, or experiencing the God, or experiencing the consciousness. And if that is done, then what happens? My life will be settled. And what is para Vairāgya? The highest Vairāgya, highest detachment, that let us try to understand in the next class. This completes the sadhana. Then afterwards, he starts speaking of Sampragnata Samadhi and Asampragnata Samadhi in the next sutra, which we'll try to discuss in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.